Okay, I guess we're ready to go. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Okay.
Check.
Yo, I don't know. I mean,
we're live on audio. I can't control.
we're live right now.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Great. Where's that soundtrack, baby? Welcome to the Kmac Attack, live on Super Bowl Sunday. How's it going, Nick? Well, thank you for tuning in if you're listening right now live. I did not post a link on Facebook. I did about 15 minutes ago, so hopefully you're tuning in. And we appreciate you joining us here, taking some time out of your busy schedule. And we do have some Super Bowl discussion coming up here in the hour. Got a good friend of mine that's going to be joining us to talk about his extensive knowledge on the Super Bowl, as well as some bets that he's making. And I'm interested to see what he has to say about that. Like a minute, but
she
I was like,
recognized
hey, I'm Kyle. You can turn your gain up more, Nick.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But I would just introduce myself, said, if you guys ever need anything, want to hang out, here's some cookies, let me know. And she's just like, okay, thanks. And that was it. and I haven't heard since. So I think it went really well.
Nice.
Is Nick supposed to be muted?
Yes, I know how to mute myself.
Oh.
I mute myself. Jeez.
Yeah. We're having for our viewers currently, we're having some technical issues.
Yeah, this is
one of our pieces of the programs I was using is not working properly, so it's a good time.
That's
So
the important part, is that we run with it. We don't let these obstacles get in our way.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know, something will happen. Maybe they'll be motivated to stop by and say a little hello. But for right now, I think that's not in the cards. I know, all for all that. But at least I gave them the cookies. I was worried they just sit in my apartment and I just end up eating them or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't
got
have
rid of the cookies.
I wouldn't
That's
have been
all that
opposed to
matters.
that. Right. But at the same time, they weren't for me. Something I have noticed, though, if you guys have Alexa, like I know, Nick, you constantly say Alexa, and Kyle, like, Google, do the lights. My Alexa, and like, I'm about to complain about it, but then I thought, and I was like, man, people 100 years ago would be like, dude, that's the greatest technology in the world. But for me, I have it in the kitchen, and I'll say, like, Alexa, play channel 124, because that's the POTUS channel. And I, try to get
angry about.
Oh, you just.
It's
just.
You didn't think about that before you said it, did you?
I didn't at all. Alexa, stop. But I'll say that, and I'll ask her to do that. Usually she does it well, but today I did it, and she's like, there are 24 hours in a given day. Often that is confused because the solar cycle begins she just went on about the day, and she just kept talking, and it had nothing to do with what I had to talk about.
So I've got like 4 Google Homes, not even joking, and I got them mostly for free through like deals online, and they have like continually the longer I've had them, the more issues they've had. Like I've got like all these smart lights in my house, a ridiculous amount, and half the time she doesn't even know how to turn them off, and it just like I don't know. It kind of drives me nuts sometimes, because I don't know, Sarah will be like making dinner and she'll be like, hey, dinner's ready, and she'll tell Google to broadcast to all of the Google Homes, and like all of a sudden I just hear through all the Google Homes in the house, it's like broadcast, or like, okay, Google, broadcast. And she's about to do it right now. So Sarah's about to get a fun little notification. But I don't know. It kind of drives me nuts sometimes. I'm almost wondering whether it was worth it acquiring those Google Homes.
If only there was a way of telling everyone inside a house it's time for dinner. If only there was a way to just like shout it out across the house and be like, hey, there's dinner. But unfortunately, we have to use our light bulbs to tell it.
We're too, right? Our light bulbs. We're too soft-spoken here, so we have to use our light bulbs.
Yeah, well, you guys should just turn up your gain.
Yeah.
That's what told me tonight.
Okay, Google, turn up the gain.
Turn up the gain.
Thanks, Google. Okay, Google, shut up.
Yeah, it's just like I'll ask her to do something I've asked a million times, and it's weird. I'll try to be really clear, and then she won't understand. And sometimes I'll just like mumble through it, and somehow she picks it up and does it. I swear, the more you enunciate, the less human-like the talking is. So the worse she gets. So it's like you have to be
my day. Kyle and I were on the Beyond the Scope podcast with Tyler last night, and I thought it went really well. I had fun. Kyle, what'd you think?
It was good. It was interesting. It was a little different format. It's interesting to see what like an actual podcast is like. So we're not really
this
a podcast.
isn't real?
I mean, we're a little bit different format here.
That's true.
So
This is not a real podcast.
not a real podcast.
We're a faux cast.
A focus.
That's good.
That's what they call it.
I mean, his isn't live and it's only audio. So
In 4K.
We are not streaming in 4K.
Dude,
Not
don't
even-
break the illusion. No one can
Yeah.
even tell. So
Facebook
like,
only allows 720.
that's
so
right. We're not filming in 4K. We're in 8K. HK,
we are ahead.
UHD.
We're literally in standard HD, but whatever.
You know, you have no fun, do you? You have no fun.
such a realist.
Yeah.
Over
I don't
at
like-
Beyond
I'm
the
not-
Scope, they would accept this kind of humor.
I just don't find it funny. You're just lying to our audience. I
That's
just
a
I don't
joke.
see what's good about this. I don't know. I can't see any good coming out of this.
He has to put it to an end.
But
Stop it in the tracks. I mean, I had fun. It was good to catch up with him and intermittently be interviewed and talk about our show, but at the same time just be like, hey, remember SAE? So that was pretty nice. And he had his own segments. And like in the middle of his show, Kyle and I were like, dude, that'd be a good idea for our show.
yeah.
So I think it kind of spawned some things that we could do in the future because he had us do a little food, sort of like a silverware segment that was kind of interesting. And just some other things talking about sound effects we could use. We're going to have to find a gavel for sure. When it gets a
Telling
little
you,
too.
Jack
Oh,
Mahoney.
I
Jack
know where some
Mahoney. We
gavels
need to
are.
record some.
Yeah, Nick, you should. Yeah, you're the one.
We
to
got some
talk to.
gavels in my household. Let me tell you.
Oh man, the best thing to steal
Got a couple
from
judges.
We got a couple of judges in my family. You know?
The best thing to steal from SAE probably would have been the gavel.
Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, that thing has got to be so old.
I think
Honestly, it's
been
probably from like
replaced.
2006.
Yeah, it's been replaced
like-
quite a few times.
Oh, really? I feel like
Because
it
you're
would-
probably not the first one to have that idea.
Yeah. Dude, what if someone stole like a lion?
Speaking of,
What if
'cause
somebody embezzled money?
I think we're going to be talking about like kind of like early connections with a guest. Is that today?
No.
No, it's not today. Okay. Well,
No.
Then. Well, kind of a funny thing because but apparently my dad's college roommate is Tyler Henderson's neighbor. Like as they grew up, so.
Huh.
Tyler, if you're watching this, my dad was roommate with oh shoot, what's his name? Dave Anderson. So
Oh, Dave.
shout out to
Love
Dave
Dave.
Anderson. Shout out to Dave Anderson.
Check it out. Yeah, we're hoping to have Tyler on at some point to talk about his and catch up. So if he isn't listening, Nick, you can bring that up. And a little fun fact for him later. But again, it was a good time, and it was good to see how something else like that works and actually be a part of it rather than just listen. But as for our socials, we're still on TikTok. I clipped the part where we talked about the songs last time, and they flagged it and muted it. And I'm just wondering why they do it there, but not on Facebook.
It's just it's algorithms. It's not the actual like copyright stuff. It's just how far they want to push it on their own platform.
Well, what bothers me is that I can't say, hey, we're critically reviewing this and then play it.
Oh yeah.
But people can dance
good.
to any music and it's fine. I don't understand that.
It's not really anything to reason with. It's just they don't want to spend all the time dealing with copyright stuff, so they just kind of put a blanket thing out there. So it's like you're not doing anything outside of fair use. It's just
Well, how do
on
we
their
fight
plat-
it?
you don't fight it. Like
But how do other people get to do it?
Do you want to go? Do we want to discuss this right now?
But here's
Or
the thing, like I think in your head you're like it's legal, so we should be fine. But the thing is, it's TikTok. They're just gonna do whatever they want to do, So
I mean, is there an easy explanation? Is this going to take 30 minutes? I just want to know.
No,
there is no explanation. That's what I'm saying.
TikTok is like a Chinese company. They probably don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
Well, I guess they're acquired, but by someone.
They're just going to put a blanket thing out there that makes it harder.
I mean, we didn't even get banned in the U.S. though. It was, what was it? North Korea, Cuba, Syria, and Iran were the countries we got
weirdest
banned
group
in.
of things.
Yeah, so that's what I'm.
Countries where free speech is not necessarily a thing.
Right.
Yeah,
that's fair. I don't know. I guess, yeah, I'm just like, so I had to go back and edit it, and I just muted the audio on the songs, but I said, like, go listen, That's all I
that's not gonna work.
That's all I could think of to do. And I mean, it's gotten a few views. I haven't checked it for a while, but
I think YouTube has just had a long history of this fair use kind of argument where they've just fine-tuned theirs, not perfectly, but better than other companies. Like, because this whole fair use has been going on for a long time. There's been lawsuits and stuff over it. And on top of that, like, YouTube aren't the ones putting the flags. It's just a random algorithm. So
okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, that's a segment I really enjoy. I have a lot more planned. I would really like to be able to put those out there.
I mean, you probably can.
Well, I did, but then it said it was muted. There's no way it's like, we're reviewing this, and
I don't
know. You just have to fiddle around until you get it.
Is there a time limit? Because I heard 7 seconds is fine or something.
No, not well. We're talking about legality versus just what TikTok wants on their platform. Legally, you could critically view literally every single shot and every single second of a song as long as it's transformative in a critical review. But that's not necessarily going to get past TikTok's algorithms. They're far more strict than actual law. So
interesting.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't matter about the legal issue of it. It's just whatever TikTok wants on their platform.
Right.
Same with YouTube or whatnot. I just feel like YouTube's fine-tuned it better. So.
Okay. All right. I mean, we'll still do them.
We'll keep doing them. You got to tune in live if you want to hear.
Exactly.
So maybe music won't be on TikTok.
Right. Even though that's kind of the reason for the platform, but I mean,
they're pulling it from Spotify, so I'm sure there's some loophole that they're getting around it.
So what if I put the clip, I muted it, and then I pulled the songs?
Try your hardest out, but don't expect it to be. Don't act like you're dealing with something reasonable. You're just dealing with the algorithm.
The computer. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do, because I would like those to work. But yeah, that's a new segment I really wanted to get into. I've named it Cover Lover or Oldie Goldie.
I like Cover Lover.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's gonna come directly after Cookie Cuties.
That's right.
Cover lover to Cookie Cuties.
So I'm just gonna give cookies to random people and see what happens. But
Nice.
I have a bunch of songs. We'll start with that, or we'll throw that in on Wednesday, along with having Emily Wheeler. She'll be on.
Oh, that's
a friend of ours from Millikan University, a musician, and I'm excited to talk with her for just a little bit, and then also throw another song at you guys and see what you think. But speaking of TikTok, I really try not to scroll through super often, because I know that it's really easy to get sucked in, and then, an hour goes by and you just watch videos. But occasionally I'll, give 5 or 10 minutes, and not even that much probably. But there was a video of these guys that put on a yellow construction vest, like one of those reflective vests, and just tested to see where they could go for free, and it was really funny.
As long as you're confident, baby.
Yeah, I'm sure this was a while ago, just because of the amount of people in certain places. But they got into museums and theme parks and all this stuff, and all they did was just walk through. They didn't have a badge or anything. Just the fact that if you see someone like that, you're assuming they're there to work or there's a problem, you know, and it was just so funny.
Dude, I swear that the world would collapse if people realized just how little oversight there actually is in the world. Like, you go to go to a grocery store, there's nothing preventing you from just walking out with the groceries other than the fact that you just know you have to pay for it. There's no one standing there being like, who's getting the groceries? And that's like fair for like any security thing. You just have to walk in. They'll be fine.
Well, okay, so I read a Reddit article. Who knows if it's true or not? This was a couple of years ago, but some guy was talking about how like he had no money and was homeless. He would just like go into grocery stores, bag groceries, and walk out like that he owned them, and nobody would stop him.
Oh yeah, yeah. And this is true of getting anywhere like secretive or not secretive, but like in like warehouses and just basic things that don't have like dedicated security. You just kind of have to walk in. People are just going to be like, yeah, whatever. And
my first day of work at my job, so I didn't have like my school ID yet. So our secretary was just like, just walk around like you know what you're doing and you'll be good. Nobody will question you. I was like, great. I don't know where I'm going. Cool. I'll just pretend like I do.
I think I think Ben and I had this good prank. We never pulled it off, but we wanted to. What we wanted to do was like rent a minivan at Milliken, obviously, and just basically all put on blue polos and khakis, kind of look like Best Buy people, because this is like the maintenance people at Milliken wore that, and we would just go into like what was the name? Schilling. We would go into Schilling and just get all the furniture, put it in the minivan, and leave.
Like Einstein's.
yeah, just go to Einstein's, be like, yeah, we're replacing the furniture, just grab it all, leave, never do anything again. We didn't have the guts to do it, and nor like the desire to just steal furniture, but I think the prank itself is flawless.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
Any Milliken students, it's very easy to rent a minivan.
Current Milliken students, and if any furniture is stolen from,
you didn't hear from me.
Any furniture is stolen from Einstein's Bagels and Schilling Hall, we do not condone anything that we're saying on this show.
Now, this is a fictional. Any ties to real or current events is purely coincidental.
That's hilarious. I remember in high school, I would throw a birthday party. And it was over the summer, which was nice. So a lot of people, were available. So I'd go and buy a bunch of food. And one of my good friends worked at in the IGA in town. So, I went up and he was, scanning everything and we were talking and I put everything in the cart and I'm like, all right, thanks, man. And I start walking. It's like, dude, you got to pay for those. It's like, oh yeah. And then we just both started laughing because I was just so like, it was just him and me. It wasn't like in a store. So it easily could have just walked away, but he's like, no, you need to pay for this. But that's the thing. I mean, if you do go in a grocery store and just walk out, someone's liable. And
oh yeah, I'm not like condoning it, but it's just like the world.
Stop condoning it.
There's very little oversight to like most things in this world. It's just like we all have this. Oh look, Reddit has their ad on, and okay, Reddit's ad is over. But yeah, Reddit got an ad. They got a 5-second ad. I just watched it and it's over.
Reddit's ad
yeah, because it started on
bad right now.
No, it was a Wall Street Bets joke that just kind of snowballed from there. But basically, what was I saying? Very little oversight other than just like our agreement that there's oversight. Most stuff in this world exists just because we all agree that it exists, like most institutions.
Jordan Harbinger just put out a podcast about with this. He did an interview with this woman. It's Jen something. I forget her last name, but basically she was a cat burglar for hire. And her whole job was like to test. People would like contract hire her just to test their own like security systems.
Kind of like the Black Cats kind of hacking.
Sure. Yeah, I don't really know what that is, but
oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not a hacker. I'm a programmer. But yeah, so her whole job was like literally to just break in to places people would hire her to like test their own personnel and like their own security systems and stuff. And it was a fascinating interview. She talked about how she'd like it was like legit. They like who the owner of these like buildings or businesses, they would not even like, they might tell like the head of security or whatever, but they'd be treating it like a full on break-in. So she was like running and essentially trying to escape security in many of these situations. And I guess she still does it every so often. But yeah, Jordan Harbinger's show, go check it out. Highly recommend.
One of our,
I mean, like what the Black Cat,
one of our sponsors. No, I wish.
like what the Black Hats are, a group of like hackers by hire. So they do basically that. They test security. We were at a hotel one time in like DC, and there's a Black Hats convention or caps or what, I can't remember. And they like broke into my brother's email address and left him a message saying, "Hey, we broke into this. Reset your password to do this stuff." And he's never forgiven them. He's still angry about it.
That's funny. I know like a lot of big tech companies, they'll do like they'll essentially put out rewards. Like if you can find a bug in their system or like a vulnerability, they'll pay you. And then sometimes they'll like hire you to try and fix it. But yeah, there's like, I know I saw Acorns does that, like of all, which I mean, makes sense. It's a financial company.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a huge thing what people do. It's great too, like how we have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That's
very smart for companies to
we might have to get someone on that that does that kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool.
Looking at you, Chad.
Yeah, exactly. He probably could. When we were at Caleb's house, or his and Jessica's apartment for the wedding, and we saw his Fortnite setup, because it's always lagging, and like just like we're curious about what it looked like, and so he got on for a second, and it was god awful. So now we understand. But he was on his computer and he's checking all this stuff, like, okay, what kind of output are you putting? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, how, like, you could easily hack this computer, right? He's like, yeah, I mean, kind of, I guess. But I just always think that's so interesting. Like, some people can get on any computer and just like understand it and be able to navigate it way beyond, basic users like me that just do the basic stuff.
Takes a lot longer than you would think, though. It's not like the Matrix where you're like reading just lines and lines of codes going past your face.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it is based on true events.
I've seen the Matrix. I know what's going on.
Yeah, I understand computers after the Matrix. I've watched
okay. You guys are right. You're probably right. Yeah, no. I mean, I've read about like hacker conventions, and it's like the most like unexciting thing on the planet. It's just like basically a dude on a laptop trying a bunch of different stuff to see if he can get in.
And then they break into my brother's email address, and we get angry.
Is he Gmail, or was he like another?
This was like 12 years ago, so I can't remember.
Oh well, he probably wasn't using SSL. There's his problem.
Well, I mean, yeah,
no
like,
TLS.
We're talking about email security 12, 15 years ago. So like,
no HTTPS.
Yeah, this
things were not encrypted.
Yeah, this is before Hillary Clinton, so we didn't think that was a big problem. So.
They got her emails.
Yeah, she ruined it.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, where did that even start? Oh yeah, not being like secure about the vests and things. So I'm really curious to try it. I mean, I never have the guts to do stuff like that. No, I'm breaking a rule. That's always hard, just because I don't like to think I'm a goody two shoes kind of guy, but it's also just like cheating the system like that. I don't know. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
You are goody two shoes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, so I
agree. You are a goody two shoes.
We're gonna have Alec join us in just a second. Talk about the Super Bowl. Are you guys keeping track of that? What are the?
Not at all. I didn't like.
Buccaneers are destroying it. It's like I think it's 31 to.
It's 31-9.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I did not like the halftime show, I have to say.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
The mix was horrible.
I wanted to bring it up on Wednesday just because
it's Super Bowl Sunday though, so
it is. I haven't seen it.
I know Emily likes it because she posted on Tyler's Facebook. So we can give our hot takes though. How about that?
That's fine. Go for it.
All right. So I'm not the biggest fan of The Weeknd. I thought like so it was just to me it was like a
We're gonna have
5.5
Alec join us in
out of
just-
10. Like nothing to write home about. There's hardly any showmanship. There wasn't any big spectacle. It's just basically one guy singing with background dancers. The one thing that is cool is you can tell that they did a good mix between the pre-recorded stuff and the live sound, because there are some moments where I mean you could tell like that he is actually singing live, be it like it just matches up perfectly or he's just sucks.
He
But
sucks. That was what I noticed.
it's just I can't get behind The Weeknd's singing. It's so just up in the head voice riff kind of whiny sound. So I'm not a big fan, but 5 out of 10. You passed.
You got to get a 6 to pass in public education.
Well,
but-
in my reviews, it's above a 5. You are certified a tomato.
I forgot it was The
All right.
Weeknd. He did that. Is his face still like it was?
No,
I don't know what that was. I kept seeing
but that like all the like background dancers at one point had like face bandages, so they're clearly referencing whatever that was happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What it
everybody,
is.
did you notice everybody was social distanced on the stands? All the
It
choir
was pretty
members?
interesting, yeah. And I like how the choreography on the violins was passable. You know,
I didn't see any violence. I didn't watch that. Must not have watched that far.
it was they. I mean, it wasn't perfect. They obviously weren't playing, but they were up bowing and they were down bowing at appropriate times.
That's all that matters.
Do you really? It was really all just a backing track. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Dude,
it
that's all
wasn't
the Super
a
Bowl
backing
is.
track. That's kind of what was a bit impressive, is you can tell that it wasn't all. There was moments where it was a backing track. Like I remember there was some like auto tune and kind of stuff like that. That I mean, they're probably just going to do it backing and not live.
I've heard
Because
the only thing that's live is the vocals.
Oh
Just in
yeah, I mean,
general.
only the vocals were live, and they didn't even have any bands or anything. But you can tell that because how they normally do this kind of stuff is they have backing track and a blue track. So like a live performance recorded like a day or two before the show, and then the live track. And so they mix it. So if you ever want to say, and they have this choreographed, if they want to say "Hello Detroit," they would turn on the live audio for the "Hello Detroit," and then backing. But you can tell there was a lot of actual singing by Mr. Weeknd. So
Mr. Weeknd.
Mr. Weeknd, yeah.
yeah, and it wasn't like super auto-tuned because there was a lot of auto-tune stuff. But like I'm
I
okay
don't think
with
it was
that.
auto-tuned at all.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because like I mean he riffs a lot, and if you're gonna riff, it sounds worse auto-tuned than real. I don't like his riffs, but I mean at least I could hear that he was doing them and it wasn't touched up, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm always interested in those halftime shows, and I have some facts about it here in just a second, because we're about to have Alec come in, talk about his experience with the Super Bowl, with football in general. Alec, what's up, man?
Hey, this is
Good to see you guys.
good to
Welcome
finally
to
see your
the-
face.
Yeah, welcome to the visual show. Nick, have you ever seen Alec before?
I've never seen Alec before. No.
You've only heard his voice, his masculine voice on 4.
Yeah, I
I've
got to-
hardly
I got
ever
to
heard
see
his
all of them.
voice.
That's so
True.
funny. Yeah, when you have heard it, it's like, Alec, turn your mic up. But it's much better now, which is a very good thing. And I know Alec has not take it for granted his new computer skills. Alec, how's the game going, man? You enjoying it?
Yeah, actually, it's going well.
Is
Tom
it
Brady's
enjoyable?
ready for-
Because we were just talking, and Nick, maybe were you just talking about the halftime show, Nick, or the whole thing?
This time of the halftime show, the game looks pretty good. I mean, if you're a Tampa Bay fan, you're loving it right now. If you're a Kansas City fan, you hate it. If you're just a fan of football, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Words.
Alec, who are you rooting for?
Well, I mean, if you want to get into that whole thing with who I picked and stuff, I think.
Well,
it's
just
still
not
really-
not betting or anything, but who
No, no,
like.
Yeah, I think. Well, I bet who I thought was going to win, but honestly, it's really hard to bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. But at the same time, I mean, there's two really good teams. I mean, the Chiefs, like, you know, if the score was opposite right now, it wouldn't be that surprising.
I gotcha.
I'm looking at this graph by 538, and like it's interesting because it was like a 50-50 toss-up at the beginning of the game, and of who's going to win.
I
And
thought
then,
they
like,
were only politics. Okay.
No, they're kind of like one of the first things that they did was sports, actually. Yeah, but they, like, you can see the graph, it just goes like, ooh, it's staying at 50, and then it drops down to like nearly 0%. Buccaneers, and then now it's 100% they're going to win, and I think it's hard to bet against that.
Yeah, I mean, with the score right now, for sure. Kyle, are you on Facebook Live doing this?
Am I monitoring Facebook Live? Yes.
I mean, okay, I'm just checking because I can't find the video, just to make sure.
Yeah,
comments.
I got
Okay.
it. No, you're good.
Sweet. All right, Alec. Well, we got you on the show because you were mentioning earlier in the day about how you bet on the Super Bowl, and I know it's a really big thing, but I've never really personally talked to anyone that has done it or let alone found success. So I want to just know, what are you betting on? Why did you choose those particular bets? If you want to divulge the amount of money that you've put up, and
maybe not in the same room as his wife.
I don't think they're in the same room. But just go ahead. So what's like what's the biggest bet you've got going?
Well, first of all, I'll just start with saying, like, if you were betting prior to like 2020 in Illinois, it was illegally. You had to have your own bookie and all that stuff like that, which I did not do. But they just legalized sports betting in Illinois sometime last year. So, you know, you could do things like FanDuel, where you could like fantasy draft teams like in the middle of the season, like for one game, and then kind of put money on it like that. But as far as like what they call sports book, so where you actually like bet the game, like who's going to win and things like that, that's pretty recent in the state of Illinois. I mean, so for me personally, I mean, I try not to do super risky things. A lot of times, like FanDuel, they have a lot of times they'll do like a insurance on your bet. So I would do a lot of things where. So are you guys familiar with like a parlay, or would that be helpful to explain what that is?
Yeah. Can you explain that, please?
So parlay basically is when you pick multiple things to happen in the same game, or like if I wanted to pick, you know, like say last or 2 weeks ago for the championship games. A parlay would have been if I would have picked the Buccaneers and the Chiefs both to win. Both of those things would have to happen for me to win the money, but it also betters the odds. It like pays more money if it actually happens.
Gotcha.
So like FanDuel will do like go ahead, sorry.
Like who makes first touchdown and who wins.
Right.
You know, like
you could do those things like like FanDuel will do like an odds, you know, for you to pick who's going to score the first touchdown. So for example, I bet one of the Buccaneers players, it was like $5, but it would have won 85. And it, you know, of course it didn't hit. It's a pretty, you know, high risk bet there, but for the Super Bowl, I kind of did a lot of different small bets, but mostly what I had been doing throughout the NFL season and stuff was they would do an insurance policy on your bet. So you could bet up to $25. And if you would hit 2 out of the 3 legs of the parlay, they would give you your money back. So a lot of times, like I would bet pretty safe things. Honestly, so like an example, what I would usually do is I would do like an alternate total. So, you know, a lot of times NFL games will get in the 50, 60 points between the two teams. And I would bet like over 26 points. And then like I would bet for like the Buccaneers to like they could lose by 17 and I would still win. And then if I bet a touchdown score, then I'm gonna, you know, my $25 will turn into 75 still. But then, you know, 2 of those are pretty much guaranteed to happen. So then you're kind of insuring the touchdown score bet. So that was kind of the way that I had really done it. FanDuel kind of figured out they were losing a lot of money with that, so they kind of did away with it. But that's, you know, kind of what I guess had been doing.
So where are you betting? Who are you going to?
Yeah.
Who are you giving your money to? Who's going to give you your money?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a lot of different apps actually that have kind of started doing it. The 2 main ones that are kind of the most popular would be DraftKings and FanDuel, both of which have like their like kind of I explained before where they have like you can draft a team of players and however they perform in that game, then you will win money based off that. But this new sportsbook thing they've come out with, basically it's the same app, but it's a separate app. So FanDuel and DraftKings are the two that I use. There's one called PointsBet, I think, that I've seen. Like I think Fox does one, Fox Bet or something like that. So there's a lot of apps that you can use to do it.
So even though Illinois legalized sports gambling, if Indiana doesn't, can I
think it's nationwide, actually.
No, because when I drove to Tennessee, it was over Thanksgiving, and I was trying to bet on the Thanksgiving games. I bet on Illinois, but then I couldn't bet again when I was in Kentucky, and then when I got to Tennessee, I could bet again.
So it keeps track of where you are and knows.
It won't. If you turn off your location settings, it won't let you place a bet because they don't know where you are.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So for all those people thinking you're not being watched, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, they're just. I mean, it's accountability because there are gambling laws and such, and but yeah.
But you are being tracked to some extent. So what is the riskiest bet that you've got going, Alec? What would you say is like one you may have it's just one that you kind of threw out? Does it have to do with the commercials? Does it have to do with the halftime show?
Honestly, I don't really place ones like that. They had a lot of those for the Super Bowl. Like you could bet the coin toss. I guess if you want to say something like that, like quirky bets, I bet that the color of the Gatorade dumped on the coach at the end of the game would be orange. So
okay. Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard what's the first commercial that's going to be played. What's the first song that the Weeknd's gonna play.
This is all on like DraftKings and FanDuel. You can do this? Huh. Interesting.
You got Kyle hooked.
Yeah. I just assumed it would all be on like points and whatever.
Oh,
I don't know about sports, but
most of the ones that I placed were on the teams, like certain people to score touchdowns or Tom Brady to throw over 275 yards and things like that.
Yeah, more things that not necessarily are controlled, obviously, but have more probability than,
sure.
I'm going to bet a Doritos commercial is going to show up first rather than the Budweiser because that's a thing. I've heard of quite a few very, out there ones that could win a lot of money. So how are you doing? Are you looking like you are going to make a profit? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, so throughout the leading up to the Super Bowl, DraftKings was doing this like mystery box odds boost. So basically, they would place the odds and then they would give you a bump. They would give you a little bit more money if you won. So I had maybe 5 or 6 like bets that I only placed like $2 on. And so a lot of them are not working out in my favor. The one that I'm kind of holding on to right now was a profit boost of just your simple pick of the game. So I picked the Buccaneers to win, parlayed with over 56 total points. So right now it looks like it's 31-9. So in 6 minutes, I'm hoping for another 17 points. But
anything can happen.
True.
Awesome. Well, I hope you. Do you want to say how much money you're out if you win none of your bets? Is it more than 100? Is it?
Yeah, today, I think I placed a total of maybe 160, but 50 of those, like I said, on FanDuel, either way, I'm going to get 50 of that back. They give it back to you in site credit, so you have to re-bet it again. You have to basically win it back. Mm-hmm. But it's still technically your money. You just can't withdraw it until you win it. So, but the one that the game line that I just told you about, I put 50 on, but if it pans out, it'd turn into 330. So
solid.
But I kind of told myself after today, I put so many on, I'm going to probably cool it for a little while. So
for sure. That's a lot of V-Bucks, man.
It is.
If you win.
Lots of skins.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, good luck, dude. I did want to test your Super Bowl knowledge, though, because you are putting money on it. So clearly you have some experience And background in the sport, you were a quarterback yourself for your high school
And college.
and college. That's right. I knew that. I was just testing you. And so we're gonna get started. So I've got 7 questions. Just give me the right answer.
Okay.
And this is not quick cash, but the music sounds kind of similar, so don't be confused.
It almost sounds identical.
Wait,
Am I allowed to phone a friend?
are we doing versus?
Not right now.
Ah,
You'll be on for a quick cash, Nick.
okay.
It's football. Do you really want to?
I want, dude. I'm down for everything.
Well, then,
If
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
you can
put up
hop.
money.
You
I'm
can
gonna be
hop.
putting
Yeah,
up money.
you always put up $1,000.
I
whether or not
say
you want to.
I'll put up 1,000 V-Bucks.
He's got them ready. I mean, if you want, you can hop off.
All right, put me. Well, you have to just put me in the lobby.
All right, Kyle,
For
throw him in
1,000
the wave.
V-Bucks.
All right,
Okay,
he's out.
off. Okay, Alec, that was. Okay, Alec. When did the first Super Bowl air?
Ooh, the first Super Bowl. Let's see, probably 1965.
The Super Bowl is the second biggest eating day of the year. What is the first?
Thanksgiving.
Name the 4 teams that have never made it to the Super Bowl.
The 4 teams. Ooh, the Browns, because the Browns are the Browns. Go Steelers. Let's see. Maybe the Bengals, the Raiders, and let's see. Maybe the Dolphins. No, they definitely have. Let me see one more.
Final answer.
I'm blanking on teams.
All right, we'll come back. What was the most watched Super Bowl of all time? Was it 2005, 2011, or 2015?
I have no idea on this one, so I'll say, I think 11 was maybe. I'll say that one. I think that one.
Okay,
maybe
name one of the 3 colleges to be tied for having the most Super Bowl quarterbacks as alumni. No, go ahead.
You just fucking gave it away. God damn it.
Okay, Notre Dame is one of them. Name one of the other 2.
2. Okay. I mean, I feel like Alabama is safe, so I just have to name one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. My fault. What was the first Super Bowl to officially use Roman numerals as the title?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have no idea. I'll say 20.
Okay. This is funny. And finally, what 2 teams made up the 2013 Harbaugh Bowl?
Oh, geez, that's easy, dude. The Ravens and the 49ers.
All right. Well, I've finally gotten.
Why couldn't they have all been like that?
Hey, man, that's the name of the game. It's called Super Bowl Trivia.
Did I get any?
You were close on the first one. It was 1967. The first Super Bowl. Thanksgiving is the biggest eating day of the year. The 4 teams that have never made it are
The Browns for sure.
The Browns for sure, the Jaguars,
Thanks.
the Lions,
Oof.
and the Texans.
Dang.
You said the Bengals and the Raiders.
Yeah, I know.
What an idiot. What was the most watched Super Bowl? It was 2015. I think it was the Patriots. Was that the Patriots and the New York Giants?
Oh, it could have been.
Okay.
I bet it was, because that was probably when the Patriots were undefeated, so that probably makes it the most watched. Yeah, you're probably right.
Name one of the 3 colleges you said to be tied for having the most Super Bowl quarterbacks. You said Alabama.
Ohio State, maybe.
It was Michigan and Stanford.
Yikes.
And Notre Dame, which I gave away. And what was the first Super Bowl to officially use Roman numerals? Title Super Bowl 5 or V. So that was early.
Yeah.
Early. What 2 teams made up the Harbaugh Bowl? And you got that.
Well, I know
one
that. I know
easily.
I'm right on that one.
Yeah, for sure. What'd you say? 49ers and Ravens? Yeah. I could have, changed it up, but you know your stuff. At least one of them. All right, let's get Nick on. I'm really curious to see how he holds up here.
He's not going to come even close.
He beat Casey Watson, the physics professor at Planet Trivia, though. So Do not underestimate the power of Heineken Schenker.
1,000 V-Bucks are on the line.
All right, Nick. How
much
you
is
feeling,
a
man?
1,000 V-Bucks?
It's at least half of a skin.
Okay.
A cool skin. Okay, Nick, you got 7 questions, 7 seconds on the clock, and the time started 6 seconds ago. When was the first time's up? All right, when was the first Super Bowl to air?
To air, like on television?
Yeah.
75.
The Super Bowl is the second biggest eating day of the year. What is the first?
Thanksgiving.
Name the 4 teams that have never made it to the Super Bowl.
Jacksonville Jaguars, the Dolphins. Oh, wait, no, the Dolphins, not the Dolphins. Don't say the Dolphins. Oh gosh, I have to name 4 teams. 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Rams. I know all those are wrong.
Okay. What was the most watched Super Bowl of all time? Was it 2005, 2011, or 2015?
I would probably have to go with 2015.
Okay. Name one of the 3 colleges to be tied for having the most Super Bowl quarterbacks as alumni.
Oh gosh. One of the 2. So
One of 3.
One of 3. Oh my gosh.
You got to give him the one that you gave Alec.
Okay. I told Alec Notre Dame was one. There are 2 others that are tied.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
Just name any college.
UC.
Okay, Millikan
UC,
University.
No, University. UC Santa. No, UC. That's
a good one.
UC Santa Cruz. I can't do it.
Okay, what was the first Super Bowl to officially use Roman numerals in the title?
The first Super Bowl to officially. That's a good one. I don't know. 12.
Okay, and what 2 teams made up the 2013 Harbaugh Bowl?
Jacksonville Jaguars and and the St. Louis Rams.
Okay, that's a very ironic answer based on what you said earlier. All right, time. Okay, the first Super Bowl to air was 1967.
Ah,
You
almost
said
got it.
75. Alex said 65.
I was about to say 65. Yeah.
You both said Thanksgiving as the biggest eating day, which is correct. The 4 teams to never make it to the Super Bowl. You said the Jaguars, the 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Rams. It was the Browns, the Lions, the Texans, and the Jaguars. So you were right on one of them.
Not one of them.
I mean, your Harbaugh Bowl is definitely wrong, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine.
We'll get to that. What was the most watched Super Bowl of all time? You did say 2015, and that was correct. Name one of the 3 colleges to be tied with the most alumni. You had a really hard time thinking of a college,
No,
so
I
we're
did
going to
that one.
pass. It was Michigan and Stanford. What was the first Super Bowl to officially use Roman numerals? You said 12. You were closer than Alec, who said 20. It was actually Super Bowl 5. And finally, the 2 teams to make up the Harbaugh Bowl were the 49ers, which you said never made it, and the Ravens, even though you said the Rams, who also would have never made it, according to you. So the teams that have never made it did make it one year. Okay, but and then interesting fact about so I think Nick, you actually ended up winning. I think maybe it was tied. Alec got the last one for sure. Nick, you got 2015, and I think Alec actually may have. You both got Thanksgiving. I think Alec beat you with the last question.
Well, usually the last question is double points, anyways, right? So
You can't just think. You have to. This is about.
I know Alec
This
knows
is
more
not
about
based
football
off
than you.
This is not about speculation.
You're right. All right. Well, that
This
does
is
it.
100% speculation.
Yeah. As far as the fun fact, in terms of the halftime show, the musicians never get paid, but they do get all their expenses paid for, which I find interesting. So like the bodyguards, the lighting, all that stuff is free, but they as musicians don't actually get compensated.
I mean, I feel like that's the one event that it's okay to be like, yo, it's
I'll
good
do it for
exposure.
exposure.
I think that's the one time it's allowed. You're allowed to use that as payment.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's the exception for sure. But I thought that was interesting because, I mean, think of all the great acts that have done it. So you can't go wrong with the Super Bowl show. All right, Alec. Well, thanks for your input on the betting. Good luck. And
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We'll see you in about 20 minutes. Ready up.
Yes, sir. Ready up.
All right,
Start
man.
Loading.
Take it easy. All right, that was Mr. Alec, also known as Duct Tape, and he has some bets going. Not super risky, but if you're putting up money, it's risky nonetheless. So thanks for that, Nick. Nicely done on the game. And I was hoping to play some quick cash tonight.
If anyone wants to call in last minute, bit.ly/Kmac Attack.
I did have someone lined up if we just want to vamp. But again, on Wednesday, if it was Emily Wheeler like pretty stoked about the Super Bowl, you saw, Nick?
No, she just said positive thing weekend.
Oh, like how her weekend is going?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. When
Good,
we're
been a good
about the
weekend
Super
so
Bowl
far.
and singers. I'm talking about her weekend.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. So that should be fun. I did want to talk about what I saw in Rush because I saw a few articles talking about how
You're still on this?
and why.
Still on this. You just can't get over it, Kmac.
It's not why they're the
Howard
band.
Stern burned you, and you just can't get over it.
I will never.
You started a whole show just to burn him back, just to prove that Rush is the best band ever.
If not more listeners, so this should go well.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't about.
Louie.
It wasn't
Cookie Cutie.
We'll get everything tied into that rhyme. No, it's not about why they're the best, but just things that have shown up in magazines and stuff, like why Neil Peart, they chose him to write the lyrics, why they don't have unreleased material. And I think that's something a lot of musicians that have either passed, so they gave their rights to their family or whatever, or maybe they're around but they don't really care about it, and then somehow this music that was not finished, that they probably obviously didn't want to be released, is now out for the public. It takes just a really bad turn, and it isn't finished, and it sounds like garbage, and it makes them look bad.
I kind of liked Valleys of Neptune when they released that. Was that like late 2000s or something like that from the Hendrix? I don't know. I always find it interesting to hear the unreleased stuff, like where the artist was going, like kind of after their heyday or whatnot.
No, I agree. It is interesting, but as the artist, I mean, it's just kind of like, I mean, yeah, I'm sure the family or whoever owns it would get paid somehow for it, but it's like it's trying to sell an unfinished painting. I mean, it's like, yes, it's interesting to see the process and they didn't quite finish it, but at the same time, you want to give out the best you've got. So I just think it's interesting that Rush has things sitting there that they just were like, no, we can save this for later.
Maybe they just got lazy. Maybe they just weren't working on anything, Kmac.
Well, they were around for like 40 years.
Maybe they weren't working it. I'm telling you. Yeah, maybe they're lazy.
Well, from what I've read, they were working on it, and then if it just kind of wasn't going anywhere at the time, they didn't dwell on it. They just threw it away. It wasn't like, yeah, we'll come back to it, because if it's just kind of, if it's in the moment and it's working, keep going. If it isn't, it's gone. So that, I thought that was really interesting.
So there aren't like any like old tapes lying around of Rush?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, not necessarily of like, oh, this was a song they wanted to put on 2112. Nothing like that. But there's old tapes of them maybe playing live, like a song that was on their
albums. But like
nothing,
no like studio stuff that they like just like might have ran a couple like scratch tracks or whatever, moved on, said they were going to come back to it later and never came back to it. Like nothing like that?
Nothing.
Huh.
Which, yeah, again, it's just like they released a lot of material, and to think that Like there was stuff they didn't like, but again, they didn't think about recording it and then keeping it for future use. If they were writing it and it sucked, then they just threw it away and never looked back. And I mean, I don't think it's like, man, we don't have enough Rush to listen to. I mean, there's so much, but at the same time, I just think that's something like Prince and like maybe Michael Jackson, certain artists like that have had that happen, and it's just
he
not
did like
good.
a thing with Akon, right?
I think so.
I actually know that song pretty well. What's that called? Hold My Hand. That was like late 2000s that came out. Not late 2000s, early 2000s. I was in high school.
Yeah, so just
I didn't hate it. Whatever.
Yeah, again, but it's just not something they want to put out because they weren't ready, and it's that's just the name of the game. Well, my contestant I was hoping to join us is not responding. So
You can do it with Kyle and I.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
I mean,
just kick me out. Well, kick Sanders out first.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. We can do it. Let's do some quick cash.
It's just all over.
All right. For the second time today, Sanders is out. All right. Cool. Quick cash. Let's go.
Oh, there it is. All right. Where to go? Here it is.
This is going great today.
This is a really.
It's a good thing nobody's watching this.
I know.
There's a good thing there's a bit bigger event happening right now.
Well, that's why I kind of want to save this, but
We will. I mean, it'll be up. Whatever.
I mean, save the quick cash, but we'll just play with Ben. All right, here we go. Suspenseful music. I mean, we could get Alec back on, but all right. Name something you close your eyes for before doing.
Praying.
Name something you do multiple times a day.
Brush your teeth.
Name a piece of clothing people buy without trying it on.
Socks.
Name a superhero that doesn't wear a mask.
Oh crap. I literally have no idea.
You can
Pass.
Name something you do after you wake up the first thing in the morning.
Hit snooze.
Okay, and name a superhero that doesn't wear a mask. Time!
All right. All right, how'd I do?
Okay, you said pray for something you do with your eyes closed, or before you do that, that was number 6, 7 points.
Woo! Yeah! This is so okay, cool.
Name something you do multiple times a day, brush your teeth. That was the top answer for 40 points.
Hey!
Name a piece of
It's
clothing.
coming, I swear.
Name a
Go
piece
ahead.
of clothing people buy without trying on first. You said socks. That was the top answer for 38 points.
It's coming.
Name a superhero that doesn't wear a mask. You could not think of an answer. So we're going to pass. Name something you do without or after you wake up first thing in the morning. You said snooze. That wasn't on the board. Technically, it
yikes.
was once you have woken, like after you get up.
Oh, get out of bed?
Yeah.
I mean, I consider the first alarm.
Okay, I'll
awake.
change the question for Nick.
Whatever.
All right, get him back in here.
Okay. Cool. What was my total?
85.
Oh
Cool, cool.
my.
Cool.
Who was playing? Me?
Close. Well, you are now. Well, let's see what happens.
All right.
Nick,
Let's go for another round of quick cash.
10 seconds on the clock.
Oh,
I think these are good questions. We're gonna do it on Wednesday.
Sorry.
Okay, Nick, here we go. Name something.
Jesus Christ. What is going on today?
That was my light. I don't know why that just fell all of a sudden.
It's an earthquake located specifically in your bedroom.
Name something that you close your eyes for before doing.
Sleep.
Name something you do multiple times a day.
Use the restroom.
Name a piece of clothing you buy before trying it on first.
Piece of clothing, underwear.
Name a superhero that doesn't wear a mask.
Superman.
Name something you do after you get out of bed first thing in the morning.
Use the restroom.
And time. Okay, yeah, you did it so much better than Kyle.
I like this commercial. It's like, oh my gosh, what could Alexa be more perfect in? And it's Michael B. Jordan.
I saw that. That one was really funny.
That's great. And the husband's like, hey, can we not?
Yeah, Alexa, turn the lights on. Turn the lights on.
Alexa, read me a book. And they're in the bathroom. It's like, hey, other people have to use the restroom. Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about it next week. Or on Wednesday. Okay, Nick, you said sleep. First thing you do, or when you close your eyes. That was his second answer for 28 points. Woo! Name something you do multiple times.
What's the top answer? Steve would always give us the top.
Sorry, the top answer was kiss.
I learned that the hard way.
Open.
I learned that the hard way.
That's why he didn't say it. Name something you do multiple times a day. Kyle got the top answer with brush your teeth, but Nick, you got the second answer with go to the bathroom. 21 points. Name a piece of clothing people buy without trying it on. Kyle got the top answer with socks. And Nick, you got the second answer with 32 points. Underwear. Name a superhero that doesn't wear a mask. Nick, you got the top answer with Superman, 32 points. And Kyle couldn't think of anything.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I don't know superheroes, man. All the ones I was thinking of had fucking
Iron
masks.
Man, Spider-Man, Big Wheel.
They all have masks.
Sandman, the Joker.
Okay.
Harley Quinn.
Wonder Woman.
Static Shock. I mean,
the Hulk.
Right.
Lots of answers here. Thank you. I knew that would come in handy. Name something you do after you get out of bed. I phrased this kind of differently for Kyle. He said snooze, which wasn't on the board. But Nick, you got 19 points for use the bathroom, which is the third answer.
Top one, drink coffee.
Top one was shower.
Oh, my first one is I open my eyes.
You take a big breath.
I didn't breathe all night. And then I wake up every morning. Alarm goes. I forgot to breathe again.
That's a great question. I think you're just emphasizing the point of that question. Okay, I'm trying to tally the score. Okay, 4.
Can we play that non-copywritten game show music, please?
Yes, of course. Royalty free. As royalty free as it gets.
Also, heads up, we got pretty bad reviews on our sound effects mixing. It was way too loud was the answer.
Okay.
By who?
Everybody.
That doesn't help.
It doesn't, yeah.
People listening to the podcast.
Okay.
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
well, we're doing it. I mean, Kyle's having to do it through something else.
Yeah. So just a heads up.
Yeah, all right. We'll fix that for next time. We'll get
Well, the other time it was way too quiet, so I don't know what you guys want.
Yeah. It's hard to
No,
tell. I mean,
we'll work on
'cause
it.
for
Either
us-
too loud or too quiet. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what we want, Kyle.
Yeah, we're
That
working on it.
sweet spot. Work on it.
Yeah, we'll work on it. For
We're
next time.
working on it. Currently working on it.
Okay, Nick, I think you came out with 132 points. So a total.
Oh, yeah.
Sound effect.
It takes a second.
No, not that one. Drum roll.
DD mega doo doo. No, there you go. Timpani roll.
So much going on.
DD Mega Doo Doo.
217.
Oh my
There you go. Is that loud enough for you?
It was perfect. All right, nicely done, guys. You're both going home with your own V-Bucks.
All right.
Oh, sweet. I get V-Bucks out of this?
No, Yeah. Whatever you have initially, you just keep. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. We had Alec on today. Got a little inside scoop of the Super Bowl. Talked about Beyond the Scope. Hopefully get Tyler on here eventually. But tune in on Wednesday for Emily Wheeler. Going to be joining us, talking about what she's been up to.
Wheeler? I hardly know her.
Thanks, Chris. So that should be a good time. And we'll get another quick cash next week. But thank you for tuning in. And we're going to wrap it up with the theme music that is not this.
Would you like to do that?
This episode has been brought to you by royalty-free music.
Every episode.
We have no money.
Well, we do, but who's going to pay for that? All right. Okay, thanks, guys.